Yeah, he said he was surprised at how they didn't stick together. There's been a lot of criticism pointed towards Bruno Fernandes and his role, or lack thereof, his role as a leader. What did you make of his looking at him in that way rather than just a player? What did you make of his leadership skills on the day?
Okay. I mean, I think I've said on the show last week or the week before that I think he may be, arguably the best buy in Manchester United's history. I'm not going to regret it because he's shown that. He's shown that at times when Manchester United were bad. When he came in, this was a different Manchester United. And I remember him playing in games where Manchester United were continuously losing, where the fans and everybody were against him, where Manchester United were at their lowest. So I'm not going to go back on that. I think he's tremendous. I was surprised and disappointed. I see these videos that he was begging for substitution. I don't know if that was begging. I mean, I saw that a little bit. He raised his arms in surprise that he wasn't coming off. That in itself, if that's really what he was saying, it's unacceptable. That's for sure. I saw him quit. I don't know if you saw on the sidelines when Bajcetic went by him. He just gave up. He was beaten on the sideline and he just walked and gave up. And I've been in those games. I haven't been proud of that. I'm sure he's not proud of it when he looks back. I think there's going to be a reaction from Ten Hag. I hope there's a reaction from Bruno Fernandes. I would be shocked if seeing and having a chance to think about it if he didn't apologize for them. But, I saw every leader on that team quit. I saw Luke Shaw at his worst. I saw Varane not at his best, an experienced player. I saw Casemiro that wasn't existent and certainly didn't show his leadership qualities. When things like that happen, we often ask a captain to act differently, and that's a fair point. But I just think this was a failure, starting with Erik Ten Hag and with every player on that pitch for Manchester United.
So what's your feeling about what has to happen next? Because obviously there has to be a reaction from Manchester United. It's all been praised up until now under Erik Ten Hag, and rightfully so as well. They've got the Carabao Cup win under their belt. Is there a feeling that if they don't have a quick response to this one, it could derail their season? Or do you think that this is just going to prove to be a bump in the road for them?
I think that this is going to be a bump in the road. I mean, they've dealt with setbacks pretty well. And I think Ten Hag almost, I mean, of course, he's not going to welcome that, but he's going to look at this as losing can be a great motivator, can it? Right. And Ten Hag knew that this was going to come, maybe not like this 7-0, but he knew setbacks are going to come. They were on a tremendous run. What goes up must come down. It never fails in life and anywhere. And he probably felt that there's going to be moments, teaching moments, and that's certainly a big one. If you look at them, I mean, they've won a trophy already, a great season. Probably not many expected. They're still in FA Cup, right? They still have a chance to win a trophy in Europa League. They've had a difficult run. And again, I don't want this to be an excuse, but I think that second half, if anything, shown, because people say, what happened in the second half? And you can say that they've given up, but I think they were physically and emotionally deflated against a team that showed us glimpses of what Liverpool were about. This is not an easy opponent if you give him a chance, right? But think about it. I mean, in the last 10 days, Manchester United had to play FA Cup against West Ham, at Wembley, where they won a trophy, this game against Liverpool, and a massive Barcelona game. This is in 10 days. I mean, it's not easy. I think when the avalanche came, they just didn't have it. They probably, I would have to imagine that they tried to dig deep, but it just fell apart for him. And from a player's standpoint, I understand to a certain degree. I don't want to excuse the 7-0. You still want to walk off and say, okay, 2-3-0. Sometimes it happens, maybe 1-0 or 2-0. But I can understand when the air comes out of the balloon. It does happen to everyone.
He said tiredness can't be an excuse, Erik Ten Hag did, but does he have to say that? It is the fact that will have actually played a factor in this. Is that what you're saying then?
I think the emotional part. I think when it started to fall apart, it's just hard because, as I said, this isn't a game that Manchester United should play. Nobody should play a wide open game against Liverpool. Just nobody, especially when everything clicks for them. So what I think you know, in the second half, what he would have asked for is clear heads and a little bit of possession, just taking the air out of the ball, right? Even if they felt that the game was slipping away and, you know, a 2 or 3-0, you still want to control the ball and just have it and not allow Liverpool to play in transition, because, I mean, the whole game was in transition, and that was their biggest mistake.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, to see what do you think his punishment will be for them? Because we've seen him drop players and change things around, but he started the same 11 that he had in that final in the Carabao Cup. These are players that he's been able to trust this season. So what type of punishment comes down after a result like this?
I think none. I really do. I mean, this team has grown so fast, almost at an incredible rate, right? He's pulled all the right strings. There'll be a stern talk, and it should be very, very short. I think all players know how disappointed he is. They all understand what happened here. And I think I wouldn't let that linger too much. He's going to say his piece, but I doubt that there's going to be any consequence, significant consequence, right? Some people are asking for Bruno Fernandes to lose the armband. I would be shocked if that happened. Now, this may have to happen later on. You know, you can make the case that Casemiro is the one or should be the one, but I don't think that's going to happen. You've got to move on because the games are coming thick and fast. And I don't think that he's going to let this linger. And you know, Ten Hag, very short, straight to the point. He's going to have a meeting. I would imagine that this meeting is going to be, or should be, 5 minutes long, no longer than that. And they're going to move on from that.
Okay, I'm going to give you a couple of numbers here, 3 and 4 when it comes to Liverpool. Liverpool front three of Gakpo, Salah and Nunez. What do you think of this one going forward now?
Change of guard. It almost felt a little bit like that, right? I mean, a lot remains to, you know, nobody's going to be getting excited. A freak result, as you said, it was freak. You know, where was this coming from, right? That sort of intensity that we've missed it. You thought after Real Madrid loss, you're going to see that against Crystal Palace.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.